Dear Ruby friends, it's fun to talk about microservices, bounded context, DDD, DCI, hexagonal, clean architecture, Uncle Bob, events, CQRS, streams, micro apps. It's all very inspiring. It's all great. You would like to work on those kind of things. But after we talk about it at our Ruby user groups, or we read about it in our blog posts and we discuss it in our team, then we sit down in the front of our computer and we come back to our Rails controllers, and they represent the real life. This is what we see in our computer. This is a controller action called bulk update. This comes from a Redmine repository, which overall is quite good quality. But this is a typical example of a controller action. Bulk updating issues in Redmine is not a simple action. So I'm not saying this is a trivial task to implement, but I think this is still far from those fantasies that we have with DCI, hexagonal, and so on. This is discourse. This is updating the post. So quite a non-trivial task in a forum application. Still, it doesn't look as it could be close to those nice things. The code is long. There's lots of ifs. There is branching. There is hash everywhere. We have params. We have options. We have accessing those things. And now we are back at the Redmine repository again, and then we have a create time entry controller action. Not really trivial, not simple. And you know what? All of those actions, they were not the single ones existing in their classes. They belong to controllers, and controllers tend to group some actions together. Each of those looks something like this. So you have this controller class that you need to look at every day, which groups all of that stuff. So you need to find your place where you work and add this new if because someone requested a new feature. So can you safely improve this code? Can you realistically imagine that one day this code will be, part of the clean architecture? Can you go there step by step? Can you do it quickly? And safely and quickly are the keywords here. Safely, so that you don't break things because your client, your user will kill you. Quickly, because no one is going to pay just for code improvement. It's not bringing business value. So if you can do it quickly, you can do it as part of the Scout rule, for example, improve the code whenever you are over there. But you need to know some of the practices that enable you to improve such codes very easily. It's difficult, but it's possible. It's possible, and it's possible even without tests. I know the reality. You don't have 100% coverage, especially not in the controller part. So you can't change the code and expect it to work because Ruby is a dynamic language. You could have made different mistakes, typos. You could change the order of lines because you thought it didn't matter, but it seems it matters actually. But there are safe techniques to deal with that. And over the years of working with Rails legacy applications, me and the Arkansas team, we together work on this stuff, and we found some techniques that help us improve it. Those techniques include inlining controller filters, because once your controller action depends on the filter, then it's coupled to the controller class, and you can't easily move it out of there. Then you probably want to move model callbacks into controller, making the controllers even bigger for a little while. Because models are not really the best place for sending emails or accessing the Twitter API or doing some other external part. Also, you can't move the controller action out of the controller if your views implicitly depend on the instance variables. Because you'll just break stuff, your views will break. You need to make a clear interface between what the views expect from your controllers and never use instance variables. That's required if you want to do any further work in improving your quality of the Rails controllers. Once you have, and there is a bigger number of this kind of techniques that I wrote down, and at the end you can move the action to the new class. You have the service object, which is decoupled from Rails, And now you can realistically talk about those nice architectures. So I started writing down all of what we knew, what we know, what we learned about those techniques, and create a step-by-step guide. But I need more examples of ugly controllers and models. I need more examples because I only have access to our RKNC projects. I only have access to the open source Rails repositories, and I know that they don't really represent all of the code that you work on, and I want to help you improve your Rails controllers. So could you please send some of the code snippets, some of the controller actions? They don't need to compile, they don't need to be full. If you send them to me, I will try to help you with showing how to improve it. I will also have a big group of examples, and I will see the patterns that repeat over and over again, and I can cover this, and I can write some techniques that may help you. So your code may be in my book. Obviously, if you agree on it, obviously we can make it anonymous. You can have fame forever. And if you want to read more about my plan, there is a rails-refactoring.com. There's a mailing list that you can subscribe to if you want to stay up to date. But for now, please send more examples of controllers and models, and I will be very, very thankful. Thank you.